Tell us, Miss Price, how did you start Star Academy?
Well, I am, as my name is Jocelyn Medlock-Price, Executive Director for the Each One Teach One Star Academy. And I started this because I've enjoyed a dual career for over 40 years as a classroom teacher and also as an EEO investigator for EEOC. Between those two occupations, as an educator and advocate for people being discriminated against, I just kind of have it in my DNA. It's the fabric of my character to want to help people. So when I heard about the plight of youth aging out of foster care, with virtually some of them nowhere to go, and just wandering, the streets going from pillar to post, that pricked my conscience. And I wanted to know, as an educator, as a person that has been an advocate for other social issues, I felt like it was something I could do to help. And hence I started Each One Teach One.
That's great. It's interesting. I want to start off with a quote. My girl, Maya Angelou,
Mm-hmm.
when you learn, teach. When you get, give. That
Mm-hmm.
is so inspiring.
Mm-hmm. So many sayings that I love,
That
but
is so inspiring,
yes, it
Miss
is.
Medlock-Price. What you're doing to help foster children. I just want to give them some statistical background
Okay.
on the children who age out of foster care. You have more than 20,000 children age out of foster care annually. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's a significant amount.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly losing access to every form of support they had. This is what happens to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because it leads to a lot of them being homeless
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things that happen that we don't know about. They lack housing, they lack structure, and things like that. I want you to talk about what your organization is doing to help that population.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to. I didn't say it at the beginning, but thank you for having me, because this is an issue that's near and dear to my heart. Because, as you stated, they are not all foster care children, but a significant amount of kids. When they age out, they just let them go. They're out on the streets. They may have a place, they may not have a place. The 20% the 20,000 that you spoke of, don't have anywhere to go. They're just dropped off with a couple of bags of their belongings. My mission with the Each One Teach One Star Academy is to help these kids locate transitional housing, also to offer them tutoring. As an educator, some of them don't have their high school diplomas. Some of them do have them, and they need additional training. I would like to offer them tutoring for GED programs so they can get their high school diploma, educate them on life skills, how to budget, how to take care of your belongings, how to find a job, life skills, job skills. Those are the things that I want to provide them with. I also want to provide them with financial support to help them with scholarships to go to trade schools or even to college if that's what they wish to do. Just give them a hand up. They need a hand up, someone that can be there to support them mentally, physically, and financially. That's my mission.
I want y'all to pay attention to the screen. We want you to get in the mode of giving. We have on the screen some slides, and we want you to be able to give to this great cause. We're trying to raise a certain amount of money to be a blessing to these kids. And also, this is Black History Month. We want to show our support for education in all forms. And things are being taken from us. And if we can be a blessing to these children who have nowhere to go and have nowhere, and this, your organization has picked up the mantle to do a great work. I want you to click on the link. Everybody who's watching on this program today on YouTube, Facebook, you want to be a blessing to help this organization do what it needs to do. Give to each one, teach one, Star Academy. And that's how black folks
Yes.
have always been.
Yes, absolutely.
We've always been there as each one teach one. And Miss Medlock-Price, as the executive director, I want you to talk about, give us some historical notes in terms of Black education, how some great people have started schools to help out people, and you're continuing the mantle. I want you to talk about that.
Okay, and then one thing I want to say to you, you mentioned this being Black History Month and all, and the kids. I also want you to understand. I'd like for the audience to understand that the majority of the kids that age out of foster care that are being disproportionately faced with all of these negative consequences are children of color. They're African American kids, Hispanic kids. They are disproportionately likely to face the negative outcomes of homelessness, unemployment, involved with the criminal justice system, substance abuse, pregnancy, mental health. It's kids of our color and Hispanics that face these kind of issues. We are overrepresented in the foster care system also compared to the other populations. And sometimes the African American kids have a longer stay in foster care before they age out. So culturally, those are some things that I think that we as African Americans, people of color, need to be aware of. There are other areas, schools that have agencies that do the same as I do. I don't know if they have the education spin on it. And with me, with my background being in education and also working in social justice issues, that's why I feel like it's important for that to be a part or a piece of with helping these kids. And and another thing, I think that people need to understand that it bothers me. Sometimes our society has more compassion for animals that are being on the streets, homeless with no place to stay, nowhere to eat. Those types of commercials that I see run on TV and from other people that I've spoken with, they garner more compassion and more funds to help those animals than some of these kids that are aging out of foster care, that are homeless and have nowhere to go, and they need shelter and food also. So that's a comparison that just really, really, really bothers me. And I would hope that other people have the same heart that I do as far as helping these kids find some type of home, some type of future going forward. So, I also say the main mission of us is to help them locate transitional housing. Number one, I think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Number one, to get them off of the streets, give them some shelter, give them food, a place to stay. That's the main thing. the ones that need to complete their education, we help them
Awesome.
complete their education.
We also, like I said, we want you to pay attention to the screen.
Yeah.
Those of you look at that link, go to that link, and be a blessing to Each One Teach One Star Academy. They are doing some great things for children aging out of the foster care system and to change lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to click on that QR code and click on that QR code as well and scan to donate. We're here to change some lives. You know, Miss Medlock-Price, it's that saying, if I can help somebody, right, my living won't be in vain.
Absolutely.
And so we are excited tonight. Also want to ask you, why did you choose to take on youth aging out of foster care specifically?
Well, because I saw that there was a need there, to help them. My Bible tells me to treat everyone the way you want to be treated. And as I stated before, it's terribly disturbing to me to see some people, to see there's more outrage for the shelter and treatment of animals than it is for these kids. That just really, really hit home with me. That's stuck with me. I don't believe in anyone being mistreated, let alone children. And these youth that are aging out of foster care, it's of no fault of their own. These are kids, some of them, by the time they are, I was watching a video one day, and this young man stated that by the time he was 14 years old, he had already been in 6 foster homes, shuffled from place to place. That's what made me want to take something like that on, because I felt like I had something to offer. If nothing else,
wow,
I can help them transition into a place to stay. I can help them, this organization, Each One Teach One, we can help them with life skills training, GED tutoring, even military entry. Get them ready for the ASVAB. Get them ready to take that exam. Vocational education. I know people who I can contract with to get them that type of thing. And if they want to go to college, we need the scholarship money funds to help them go to college and get the vocational training and college training that they need. I feel very strongly about that. And I think that, Each One Teach One, along with some of the other agencies that are trying to do the same thing, it's really needed. And it's an issue that's not talked about much, but it's something that people really need to be aware of. And I encourage folks, just go out there on YouTube and take a look at the foster care system and the kids that are aging out, particularly. You have success stories, and then you have those that fall through the cracks, and the ones that fall through the cracks are the ones that I want to be there for.
Wow, that's great. If you're from 35 to 55, older or younger, I want you to come into the room. I have the dynamic Miss Jocelyn Medlock-Price, the executive director of Each One Teach One Star Academy. We're excited about what they are doing in the community. Don't touch that dial. When we come back, we're going to find out the great things that Each One Teach One Star Academy plan on doing with their dynamic mission to help those in the foster care system. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear, what do you think of our show? You can email me at info@thepearlhaleshow.tv. That's info@thepearlhaleshow.tv. Don't touch that dial. I want you to get out your phone and click on that QR code and be a blessing to somebody who is stuck in the foster care system. We're going to be back in a moment with more. Don't touch that dial.
Your best So I'm asking you, I'm demanding from you, whatever it is in your life, give it your best. Not for me, not for a teacher, not for moms, not for you. Like, what you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Your best. Grind. Go all the way to graduation and be like, all right, that's one step. I'm up to the next. College, boom, I'm up to the next. Master's, boom, I'm up to the next. PhD, I'm up to the next. Anybody want to go to med school? Yeah, save my life, baby. Thank you. I want a doctor. Thank you. Your best, what does your best look like? And we haven't been able to answer that question. None of you, I would bet, can answer the question. Because we haven't asked ourselves that. We haven't given ourselves that opportunity to give our best.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Pearl Hale Show. And as I said, if you're from 35 to 55, older or younger, come on to the room. I got the dynamic the executive director of Each One Teach One Star Academy, Jocelyn Medlock-Price. So we, in this last segment, what is Each One Teach One Star Academy plan to help these kids?
Well, let me go through a little of the methodology, because I've spoken on the mission, and what our mission is, and the plan. How are we going to do that? What is the method? What kind of training are you going to do? You say life skills training is, what is that? Well, with the life skills training program, we are trying to help them transition into adulthood. And we will go over things, living skills, life skills, finding a job, managing money, budgeting, how to shop, making healthy choices, meal prep, things of that sort. That's what we would do in our life skills plan. Yes, go ahead. Those are the kind of things that we do in the life skills.
That's excellent. Some for Black History Month, some women who've also helped pave the way in education, that has done some great things like you're doing, and we need to continue that. Mamie Phillips Clark, born in Hot Springs, Arkansas. She developed a keen sense of education and helping Black children. And also, Vivian Harsh dedicated her career to libraries and making sure that our children was educated, and you're doing the same thing. In this Black History Month. We want to celebrate what our people are doing. A lot of times people say what we're not doing.
Right.
But you're doing something to help the problem. As Maya Angelou would say, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. And so you chose not to focus on the problem, but how can I be solution orientated? And tell us what are some other ways that we can give and be a blessing? What are some goals that you have and some deadlines? Because I want you to get out your phone in a few minutes. I'm going to put up that QR code so you can be a blessing to the mission and assignment of Each One Teach One Star Academy. In these last few minutes, we have a dynamic video. You don't know the things that these children go through.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about in this last segment before I play the video, what are some things that these children are going through?
As I said earlier,
age out of Okay.
As they age out of foster care, and by the time they reach the point, some of them reach the point of aging out, they have already been in maybe 6, 7, 8, up to 10 or more foster homes, shuffled from place to place to place. And then you find yourself between 16, 18 years old, and it's time for you to go. They can't hold you any longer. You age out, and you may age out with a couple of bags of belongings and nowhere to go. It seems to me that the system is broken in a way that they should have some way to transition these older youth into some type of home or shelter or someplace rather than just drop them off. If they don't have any family, where do they go? Where do they go? And I feel like education is key. And an educator, a person with a background in education, and realize the value of it in helping these kids to be taught and learn and transition into adulthood. And I'm not just transitioning into adulthood, but transition into adulthood with a healthy, mental, stable attitude to help them in vocational training, help them into some type of career where they can succeed. We need funds to do that. We need funds to offer them. We need funds to offer them the scholarship money to go to trade school, the money to help them with transitional housing and buying food, or give them the resources where they can go and help get on the different programs. These are kids. They're still kids. They don't know how to problem solve and career plan. They need the consumer education, the financial management, the emotional wellness. They need all of that.
That's awesome. I am going to take us out of the frame. I want you, this is the last time. Thank you so much. We thank you for being with us tonight. The founder of Each One Teach One Star Academy, none other than the dynamic executive director, Ms. Jocelyn Medlock-Price. Thank you for all the work you're doing and for all your efforts. And right now we're going to play a video, and that is going to end our show. But I want each and every one of you to tell a friend, tell somebody to watch this show. Click on the QR code. Go to GoFundMe and help with her assignment. My last comments before we show the video: forget about past failures, because whatever God has before you is better than what you left behind. Have a blessed evening. Good night.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Pearl. Thank you.
I could really say that me being out on my own, I don't think to look back for 1 second about how my life would have been if I would have stayed.
Being in foster care, you have to make your own family. We all need love and we all need stability. We all need someone there when they age out. That person was always there for me.
Parents teach their kids, you're gonna grow up, you need to learn how to do this, make doctor's appointments, all this other stuff. I didn't know how to do. I had to literally teach that to myself.
I've been in and out of homelessness for 3 years. I come here almost every day. It's very much home to me. I know I could come and eat and sleep if I want to. Can't sleep for long, but I know I can get some form of sleep. I need a shirt for orientation. Amazon on Friday night.
Throughout the history of outreach, it has not been uncommon for a brand new 18-year-old to walk through the doors going, I'm homeless. They have a high school, they've been in school, they've had a home, they've had a bed, and then the next day they're out.
What about this one? I felt like I had nowhere to go at that point because something kept telling me if you go back home, everything's just going to crumble again. And as soon as I went back home, everything crumbled. I was always sleeping somewhere unsafe, but it was somewhere to lay. I had to stay in alleys. I would doze off on the bus. I would go and ride the 39, because the 39 is almost a 2-hour bus ride. And then I would hop on the next bus and do it again until buses stopped running. I currently live with my friend. I worry every day about losing this place. Being in the foster care system, I could really say I felt like I was protected. I felt like I had a shield around me. I felt like I had family in that system.
One of the first guys I met when I took the job was a young man. He said, you need to understand that life on the street is hell on earth. And the only reason you stay on the street is because the street is better than where you came from. When you spend time with the youth and you hear their stories and everything that's been stacked against them their whole lives, that by the time they hit 17, 20 years old, you can't see a way out.
My name is Tamisha, and I'm 21 years old. I am expecting a baby, a boy. Not good. My back hurts.
It's about 140. Sounds good.
I was in foster care since I was 5 years old. My mom she was bipolar and schizophrenia, so that's why we got taken away. As you're getting older, you realize that maybe there's slim chance that you would probably get adopted, but there's really not a chance.
Annie Braxton Hicks.
I aged out at 18. It's basically you get pushed out. Your case manager wants you to write a letter to judge. You don't get an option, really. You have to do it. The judge okays it for you to be let go out of the system. You're on your own. Oh, it's a McDonald's gift card. I actually will take this. Finding out that I was pregnant, it was a roller coaster because the dad was just in denial about it. To this day, I'm still scared. Financially, that's what scares me the most. Heather is my friend. I call her my sister. We met through church. Heather is the reason why I got all this stuff. Heather just kind of took it under her wing and got everything that I needed. It wouldn't have been easy if she wasn't in my life.
My car just basically broke down. It just started from there. I mean, I don't have a way to work. If I don't have a way to work, I can't really pay my bills. Just picking up some leaves, so that brings some money, kind of get me okay for the next few days. I think I've had like over 10 placements while I was in foster care. You get tossed around so much, you just feel like every placement you're gonna go to is just a temporary home. I was always passionate about school and education, so for me it was hard keeping up because every time I got moved, every school was at a different lesson, just everywhere. I remember one year going through like 3 different schools in like 2 months.
Education is the only valid passport out of poverty. Foster youth are absolutely our most vulnerable students, and the state is their parent and making education decisions on their behalf. And if they're being a prudent parent, then they're tracking education outcomes, and they're developing a plan to improve achievement for the kids in their own care, in the same way we're creating plans for other student subgroups.
Giving up college was very hard because that's my passion, that's my everything. That's the one thing I know I could take everywhere that would never leave me. It was hard, it crushed me, I felt like a failure, I felt just so belittled.
People have so much outrage and generosity for shelter animals, almost none for the thousands of children in foster care.
He was born October 22nd.
Oh my God.
I don't want my kid to be in foster care, but then also I don't want my kid to be a statistic. So that's why I would want to work harder. They do need to make the system more accountable of the kids that they aged out, because we were under your wing for so long. You can't just throw us away like that and not give us more options of what to do.
It's like for foster care kids, like everybody just shrugs them off. And I feel like pretty soon you keep shrugging off all these foster care kids, you're just gonna have a whole bunch of people in society lost.
We forget that they are just children and that they didn't do anything, that they were put in foster care and removed from their families through no fault of their own by the state. And that if we fail to, in that experience, prepare them for life, then we all have failed them. If we fail to reunify them with their families or find them new families, then we have failed them. And if they turn 18 in the state's care, they've lost a childhood that they're not going to get back, and we, as a society, have failed them again. The morality of a society is judged on how we treat our children, and I think with 23,000 children aging out of foster care each year on their own, we've failed every one of them.